Hi, and welcome to my channel. I actually have a remote, but somehow it's not wanting to work with me. Uh, you know what? That actually happens. Sometimes it works when I'm practicing, and then when I go to record it, it won't. But sometimes your energy, like when you're, engaged with being in tune with your gifts, it somehow interferes sometimes with equipment. Okay. Like I haven't been able to wear a watch for years. There's scientific explanations for this, but that's not what I'm here for today. My name is Deb, and the name of my channel is Real Life Mysticism. I chose that for a reason. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to metaphysical classes. Had never heard of that. Um, didn't have a family that understood what being psychic means. Um, was raised in a mainstream, very conservative religion where this kind of thing would have been of the devil, so to speak. Um, Many did not have any advantages like, oh, I heard about a psychic development class people are going to. Never heard of such a thing. So the things that came on board for me were organic since childhood. And in my previous video, I talked about some of the premonitions that I had as a young girl. And it was very uncomfortable for me. And I didn't know what to do with that energy. And so I kind of learned, I shut it down. I'm like, it was scary. It was really heavy for a couple of years. And we were living in a house, which I later learned was like on sacred Indian ground or something. And I think that's why the energies were so stirred up there. And, but I was able to shut them down a little in my teenage years. But when we all have gifts. You can try to put them on a shelf. They're going to pop back down. They don't go away. So as an adult, of course, they were back on board, and over the years, I've still had premonitions. Had a premonition about 9/11. A lot of people did. They were having mine was more of a premonition. A lot of people had precognitive dreams, which is a form of that, which means you have something in your sleep state that comes true. That's precognition. So if you want to understand the science for some of this, because I wanted to, it helped things make sense, because I can be very left brain, and all of this is right brain. So I've learned a lot of things by trial and error. But there is an MIT scientist, Pete Sanders. I think the name of his book is You Are Psychic. That might interest you if your brain is kind of built like that, and help you understand what psychic centers is coming through, and it's body based too. So as an adult, so with the 9/11, I actually had been feeling plane crashes. I didn't have the whole story, and this is how it works a lot of the time. And so that night, I had been at work all day. I was in sales, and I came home and turned on the news. Because I thought, ugh. And I turned on the news, no reports of plane crashes. I thought, good, maybe it was off. Because there's no such thing as 100% in understanding the energies and what I might be picking up. So I thought, good. Next morning, my husband, I am in the bedroom. I was married at the time. He gets up early. He's watching the news or the telly, what comes on in the mornings. And he's screaming, Deborah. He called me Deborah. Deborah, get in here right now. Get in here. And boom, I saw the second plane hit. And even then, just like the rest of the world, I was kind of in shock. I was running a small business. I sent people home, like, let's just go, let's get in touch with the people we need to and sit with this. But it was like later in the week, because I was doing no psychic work at that time, okay? I've been a corporate girl. I was raised conservative, religion, and then a corporate girl. My right brain was admired if I work hard and, and have a family or a business, or it's like I still wasn't, embracing this in any other way. And I heard people calling in a radio show talking about this, and I just broke down and cried like a baby. And I'm like, oh my God, a lot of people were picking this up. So it's like really real. I've needed lots of assurance and validation that this is real along the way. And one thing I can say that helped me once I finally thought, okay, I got to understand how this works for me, And that's what I'm trying to help you do for you. It's going to be different, but you will figure your own way out. Is I started carrying a little spiral notebook everywhere I went, off to work, and I would write down every little thing, like something crossed my mind, or I had a weird coincidence, which we know are synchronicities, or, some odd thing with a butterfly coming right up to my face. Just anything that happened that I knew had a spiritual connotation. And now that I'm saying that out loud to you, I realized it was about that time that I had my mentor at the time called it my, 2 weeks of enlightenment. I kind of had a Kundalini experience, and it was very spontaneous. And I will share that in a later video because I want to do a series and kind of build how this worked for me and how I came to understand, in hopes that something will resonate with you and it will help you, because I think it's really important that we all embrace our gifts, and they're all going to be different how it works for you and with your body system. But anyway, so I did obviously have premonitions as adults, still do. I'll tell you about one before I close out in a minute. And trying to understand what's to do with them, because often, just like with the airplanes, or I had a premonition of the tsunami that hit that island. I was going to look that up years ago. Was that a decade ago, maybe even a little longer than that. But I thought, why am I having this when I can't do anything? I don't know anyone there. I can't call. I can't help people get out of the way. I didn't know the name of the island, by the way, in my premonition. I just knew a tsunami. But I don't understand that, so I can't share that. If anyone here does, please comment below if you've been able to figure some of that out. And please comment, let me know if you're having precognitive dreams and our premonitions. But the thing I was going to share with you today is a little tip that, in hopes that it may help you. It helped me when these feelings come on, and I'm not sure if I'm having anxiety or if it's a premonition. Because I can tend to I have a lot of maternal energy and a lot of water energy. So I can be a little worried about things, or someone's taking a trip and I'm like, oh, I'm getting a weird feeling. Is that a premonition? Here's what I learned to do. I would say a little prayer. Short, it was nothing fancy, just something short and sweet, straight from my heart. And I would ask my team, the universe. In the beginning, I didn't know who I was asking. It was just a prayer. If this is a premonition, if this is not a premonition and there's nothing I can do, please allow this feeling to dissipate. And then, and this is really important, I would go get busy. Go get busy. Go work in the yard. Go somewhere. Get busy so your mind is distracted. And if you're able to be distracted, it's not a premonition. And then I would realize, okay, I don't need to stop my parents from going on that trip. I'm just being a little worried. But then you'll find out when it won't go away as a premonition. Hopefully that makes sense. This is not very technical, and there are probably people that, there's probably special schools for this. I learned it organically, and that's everything in life. Even in my corporate career, it all was organic, how I learned my sales and the printing and the things that I did back then. So I learned from the school of life. And so hopefully that's who I will speak to. That I'm a very down to earth. Years ago, I worked in a little metaphysical store once I finally started embracing my gifts. And at one point, I had a business card that said the pragmatic psychic. Because I'm not just going to sit here and talk about woo-woo and fairies and all of that. That's not how life works for me. It has to make sense. I have to be able to make sense of it within how it works for me and how it can help others. Because I think our gifts are meant to be a gift to others also. So if I can then help you see around the corner. I don't believe in telling people what to do. I'm really not big into predictions. I can read energy signatures. I'll tell you a quick thing. Like, this is just an example. Had a client. He wasn't there for readings. I wasn't doing that. I was doing business coaching. And I just had a feeling about him in a motorcycle accident. And I thought, I can't tell him that. I mean, I knew that would be irresponsible, because I could then be implanting that idea in his mind, and then I could be a party to it. I'm like, oh, no. See, I'm very pragmatic, and a lot of common sense in this snug. And I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. then I said nothing. I dreamt it. I dreamt the motorcycle accident. So next week when he came, I thought, I've got to do something. So here's what I did. I said during our session, I'm like, oh, I just want to mention something. Have you been taking your car or your motorcycle to work? And he lived a long ways. For the drive every day was probably at least an hour for him. And I said, and he looks at me like, huh? And he's like, why? And he kind of knew something with me, but we never talked about anything woo-woo, okay? And he looked at me and he goes, why are you asking that? And I said this: if you get up one morning and you find yourself in your garage and you're like, should I take the motorcycle today or should I take my car? If you find yourself doing that, that may be your intuition telling you it's a good day to take the car, okay? And he looked at me like a snap. He looked at me and goes, got it, like that. We never talked about it again. And this was going on 20 years ago, probably 18 years ago. No accident. He's now a happily retired fellow. So there are ways to do that. And I think that's ethical. And we need to be very responsible with our gifts, and how we use these. So hopefully this kind of makes sense to you. Anyway, I just wanted to share a few tips for you, mainly with the premonitions. Lately, I've been having dreams about water. I think these are precognitive because they're pretty big and pretty constant. So I do have a feeling this summer we're going to see some water events. I know a lot's going on with the sun now. Do you guys study or follow? Like, there's a geophysicist, Stefan Burns. He's awesome. And there's another one I just found on Facebook. Wow, he just gives tons of information from science. It's all science and how the earth is and how the poles are and how, the sunspots and the solar flares. And it's fascinating because I feel it. And you may be feeling that too. And even recently, it's been a really strange feeling. I've been doing this for years, and this is really different. And I read something that resonated with me. I will copy it and put it down in the description under the video, okay? In case you're one of those dealing with that, this may help you. It helped me kind of make sense of what I'm probably picking up. Just remember, guys, everything's energy. So those of us that are sensitive, we pick up energy in all sort of different ways. And then what I want to do with my channel is help you. And if you resonate with what I'm saying, if not, trust me, there's somebody else on YouTube that you would resonate, because there's all different types here. I'm just a little old-fashioned in the way I look at things, and I love to do things organically. So anyway, if this speaks to you, please like, subscribe, support this community, and let's do this. I really want you to use your gifts. They're part of your God-given ability, your sovereignty. This is what will help give you peace no matter what's going on in the world. That I can promise. Much love.